So, I'm kind of hoping this is going to be a simple project. In theory, this is going to be stupid simple. And, in practice, it kind of goes either way. But basically, I've been looking into airbows ever since I saw a video by a Demolition Ranch, I think, where he had like the Ranchero pistol, or I don't know what's called, Ranchero something. Basically, it's an airbow pistol. And it's like, it was really cool. I've seen airbows before. I know Slingshot Channel's been building them. And again, he's made some that are, shoulder mounted and all that. Really cool. I'd recommend checking them out. A lot of his use like just a pressure chamber and a solenoid valve. And most of them, I've noticed though, are similar actions to like a pellet gun. Basically, usually they're CO2 because most are modern ones now. But you pull the hammer back, which here's where you load the pellet, but forward, which has a hammer in here. And when you pull the trigger, it releases that and releases the pressure that's built up. Firing, in this case, a pellet, because this is a pellet gun. And in the case of an airbow, it fires your bolt or arrow, or they seem to be more bolts to me, but I don't know. That's more technical, doesn't really matter. Anyway, so I've been looking at building these because that particular pistol, I looked them up, they're about $1,000, and honestly, I'm going to spend that much on something. I'm going to buy like an actual gun or building equipment for other things. But I've been looking into how to build one of these myself. I've had many different designs, watching a few people build them, but I kind of kept coming back to basically they're pellet guns. They look like someone modified a pellet gun to shoot arrows. And I think the actual design is probably something very similar to that. So I thought, what if I were to get a pellet gun and modify it? And CO2 is kind of expensive, and I kind of wanted the post-apocalyptic thing of the basically infinite uses, which isn't true because apocalypse scenario, things break down, and this is going to be really hard to fix in the long term. But I ended up finding ones, and these things I've seen around for a while. This is just a Crossman, nicknamed the American Classic because you pump it up like the old pellet guns do. So you can pump this up to where it gets a lot of power. I've actually just been playing around with it, torn it apart, just putting things in the barrel. I actually put like a half full thing of nail polish on the end of that and fired it straight up and it actually jumped. I was bored. But anyway, so I decided to use this for my base. What I'm going to do is I plan on tearing it apart, cutting my barrel down, probably somewhere close to here, and then drilling it out to where this tube is actually part of an aluminum arrow. It's broken, which is why it's not here. I don't remember what it's off of. It's like a youth bow or something, so it's very thin. But, and I'll see if I can find the measurements for these. I don't know the exact though. But I find they fit perfectly. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Into a crossbow bolt. This is just one from Walmart, nothing special. So I'm going to drill down a little bit of the inside of the barrel to where this fits in, and of course cut it down to where I use 10 inches of my bolt because this is a 20 inch, so I just cut it in half. Once I get the stuff for the ends, I can make two of them. And of course I'll have to cut off this piece here, which kind of holds the barrel on. I was originally going to get one of these, get replacement parts, because you can buy these because this is a pretty old gun, so there's a lot of them. Replacement parts for all this stuff back here, and just build up something to hold my arrow holder barrel thing in place. But I want to be able to take this off and then shoot pellets with it again. Unfortunately, buying this part, usually it's an upgraded version, so buying this would generally cost the same as it would to almost buy the whole new pellet gun. So I'm like, I might as well just make it more of a permanent thing. So I'm just going to use the parts already here. And if I ever decide I want one of these to shoot pellets, I'm just going to go on Amazon and buy a new one. Or probably get the 22 version of it because they make that. And this is just the like .177 or however you say that. So I'm going to tear this apart and start building. Okay, so tearing this apart is pretty simple. Basically, let's see if I remember how to do this. I believe you just pull this back, and there's a little tiny screw in there. Ah, shit. Takes an Allen key. Oh, wait. Never mind. They're right here. Takes Allen keys. Let's see if I can remember which one it is. I think it's this one. Nope. Okay, it turned out it's like the, what is it, 0.05 Allen key. Super tiny. Let's break the tension. Okay, I'll make sure I have a container for all my small parts. Okay, no, I also need to remove, should have, there's a flathead screw up here as well that I forgot about. This will remove your sights and all that stuff, which will pretty much be useless once you're done. That comes up, and then this whole assembly comes off. You don't want to lose that because that goes in your barrel to make sure everything works properly. So basically, this is like your hammer. When you pull the trigger, that goes forward. I think you want to make sure that's back for when you actually do the rest of it. But I'm going to set this part aside for now so I can modify my barrel and receiver, I guess this would be called, and go from there. Oh yeah, this part, I tried to come up with a way to remove it, mostly because I want to be able to use it to make pellets. The only way I can think of it is be able to drill out this pin and put in something I can take out, but since it's not going to work, I'm just going to chop that off. Oh, quick thing, I marked where the barrel fits in. Ugh, hair in my face. So that way, I know exactly where it is, because I don't want to cut too low. I'll probably extend it out just a bit, so that way I have a little more for my new barrel to go onto. But as you can see here, this is just slightly too small, so I'm gonna have to drill it out. Again, I don't really want to ruin this barrel, but it's not really too expensive to just buy a whole new system. Anyway, I'm gonna go out, get my angle grinder, cut it off probably about there, and then drill it out a little bit. Or why not there, or probably a little farther forward. Now that I think about it. I don't know. It's a lot easier when I'm actually doing it to figure out what I'm doing. I don't plan anything. That's a lie. I plan a lot, just sort of. I sort of plan many things. Okay, so now that I have everything cut the way I want it to, well, I'm going to trim this down later, but I have this cut and drilled out. This is a lot harder than I thought it was, but it was done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this mixture of JB Weld and put some along the outside of this, which is my barrel, and stick it in here. I find it's very important that if you put the JB Weld on this, it doesn't really get, clog up the hole that goes through here, but if you don't, it can cause some issues. So it's better to put it on this and then push that through so you get some on the outside, as opposed to some blocking all this stuff and then you have to drill those out later. But anyway, just take it and roll around in this. And of course, twist this. And then try and make sure it's straight. Hi, kitty. Anyway, you get the point. That's a cat. Don't step in the glue. It becomes a pain when I'm using my inside workstation. So, once you have your new barrel made, what you're going to want to do is take your bolt, measure down the 10 inches, and cut it. I find that this little piece doesn't count, or there, this little piece doesn't count. It's basically just the main part of the shaft, which you'll cut. Then once you cut that, you want to make sure it fits on your new barrel, and cut that as well. With this, I'm going to have to use a hacksaw, because this is, I don't know if you can tell, but that's like stupid thin. So you're gonna want to make sure that you don't overheat it like with an angle grinder. And this is I think supposed to be carbon fiber, but it's probably like fiberglass or plastic. Anyway, still I'd recommend using a hacksaw. And then once you have everything cut, you can reassemble everything. Okay, now that we have our barrel made, we're basically just ready to reassemble everything. Make sure we got our container of parts here. Ouch. Want to make sure these holes line up properly, of course. I forget how this goes in. Going like this. Okay. Put our sight piece on. Well, this screw is a bit of a challenge because of how small it is and where it's located. There it goes. There we go. Okay, so after testing this a little bit and playing with it, there's really not much I can say beyond it's not really a serious weapon. Yeah, it'll shoot, and I think this is just a field tip, so it's not exactly a very serious bolt, but it's just for targets. But even then, it goes pretty slow and doesn't have a ton of power. So I think this is mostly just for fun. I mean, you never want to actually use this as a weapon because, you could potentially hurt someone. I think if you put a broadhead or a bodkin's point on it, it probably would do some damage. Could it actually, potentially kill something like small game? Probably not. If anything, it'd probably move faster than the bolt goes. I watched the slow motion of this and like, man, I could probably throw a rock harder than that. Which, hey. But just to see if it worked, it's kind of fun. And it is fun to play with, which I've been doing. So, yeah. I kind of want to have a concept similar to this where I basically build all of this so I can have like a tank full of a lot more, air in it. Hopefully I launch one of these harder, but that's a video for another day. But, yeah, hope you enjoyed or, maybe make one of these for yourself or thinking about it. You might know a little bit. So, yeah. I might go out and play with this some more just because, it's still a lot of fun.